Hey, we all have our dream jobs. How many of you dream of being paid to shoot rifles, to zero scopes, to work on the range all day? We have someone here who's got a job like that. Folks, this is Joe Cunningham from Stealth Vision. Joe, thanks for joining me here.
My pleasure, Ron.
These guys are going to really be interested in your story. What do you do for Stealth Vision?
Well, I wear a lot of different hats. I sell a lot. I talk to people a lot. I set up outfitters. I set up dealers. But one of my main things I do is I break these in, I zero them, and I shoot data all the way out to 1,200 yards with every single gun. And that keeps me pretty busy while I'm here, Ron. We've got a whole inventory of guns, and I shoot a lot, and I absolutely love it.
And I can attest to that because I've been watching him for the last couple of days, and he just has rifle after rifle after rifle, puts these beautiful scopes on top of them, and then does all of that hard work that we sometimes don't know how to do to get these things dialed in perfectly. And we are shooting out to 1,200 yards and getting 3-inch groups.
We just shot one.
Holy!
You witnessed it firsthand.
I did.
So we had a 3-inch group at 1,200 yards. We had a 2 3/4 inch at 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So these guns are performing well. We rely on the gun builders that are building these guns. We've got about 4 companies that build us guns, and they are spot on.
What are the companies building the rifles for you?
Okay, we have Altera Arms, and we have Blue Mountain Precision. We have Montana Precision, and then we also have Seekins, which every one of these guns are half-minute guns or better, which we've proved since you've been here.
Right. Yeah. Now, the rifles come in. Do you guys spec them out? You want them a certain barrel length and certain stocks and all that?
A lot of them we do. We usually stick between 20-inch barrels and 26-inch barrels.
Okay.
Kind of depends on the caliber and what the customer wants.
Yep.
It seems more and more these days people are going with the shorter barrel. The 22-inch barrel is the most common barrel we have that we sell. But we also have the special custom orders where people want a 20-inch barrel. You know, because the 20 and 22-inch barrels, you put a 4-inch can on it, it doesn't look like it's a mile long.
Yeah,
So we get a lot of requests for, will you shoot my data with a can on it? So when I get it, I can put my can on it and it'll be spot on, which is not a problem because we are also going to be carrying our own proprietary silencers, cans, here in the near future.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so the rifles come in, customers are going to say, hey, I'd like to have a 7 PRC or a 6.5 PRC or a 6mm Creedmoor or a 243 or a 7 or a mag or whatever they want pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you put the scope on it that they want to match it up.
Yeah.
And then you mount the scope square, dead on, just right, none of this, oops, I almost got there. You're doing it right.
I'm very meticulous in everything I do because I want to make sure that customer, when he walks away with that gun or he shoots that gun, he goes, oh my gosh, I've never been able to shoot like this in my life. And especially at the ranges we shoot. And very meticulous. These guns will not leave here unless they are spot on at 1,200 yards, which I don't think there's a lot of companies that'll guarantee that out there, but we'll guarantee half minute at 1,200 yards with all of our gun systems. That's a 6-inch group, Ron.
I know, that's crazy. Now, how do you get there? What is the process for getting this rifle and scope all set up so that it shoots that well?
Every rifle's a little bit different. From the Seekins to the Blue Mountain to the Altera, it's a break it. First thing I do when I get them is I check everything. I check and make sure all the screws are tight, the action screws are tight. I mount the scope, level it up to the action, make sure everything in the scope's calibrated just right as far as the green light system. And then once that's done, I take it to the ranch. And then a process begins of, first thing I do is I start bore sighting it right away at 100 yards. But at the same time I'm doing that and zeroing it at 2, I'm breaking this barrel in. And how I determine that barrel's broke in is when those muzzle velocities go from 80 feet difference a shot down to 10 feet of difference. So when those muzzle velocities shrink into that 10 to 14 muzzle velocity difference, it's telling me that barrel's broke in. Now I've cleaned that gun numerous amounts of times in between, making sure everything's right, everything's perfect. So the chronograph basically tells me when that barrel's broke in, and then I start taking it out, zeroed at 200, 500, 800, 1,000, 1,200 yards.
So you're dialing with an MOA turret.
Yeah, I'm dialed with an MOA turret And then when we get all the data done, Ron, or when I get it done, so I'm going to do the elevation I'm at, the temperature I'm shooting at, the type of bullet I'm shooting, the weight and grain of that bullet, and the average muzzle velocity. Once I've got all that down out to 1,200 yards, I will take that information, I send it to Terry, who's our master machinist, and he burns a turret with a program that he wrote to match that data in yardage. So now you've got a custom yardage turret. So the simplicity of it is, when that customer gets his gun, he can take it right out of the box, take it to the range something, dial that yardage, get level, squeeze the trigger, and game over. You witnessed it firsthand.
Not only did I witness it, I did it.
Yeah.
He would give me a rifle and say, here, this one's a 6.5 PRC, so don't worry about it, just shoot this target out. And I'm getting ready for 300 yards. I think I'll just jump right to 300, right? And he says, no, waste your time on that, go to 5.
That's exactly what we do.
Dial it to number 5,
Yeah.
aim at the center dot, and bingo, what do you suppose I hit?
This center dot.
Golly, it's just crazy. So I guess it's a one-stop shop kind of a deal. You say, I don't just want to buy a rifle and then a scope and then put them together myself and struggle with it and burn up a bunch of ammo and not understand that for my first 20 to 40 shots, I'm really not getting my accuracy out of that.
I think we've all done it at some point in our
absolutely.
lives. What we want to provide here is simplicity for everybody. So what you get when you buy one of our gun systems is you get the gun. It's turnkey. It is ready to go out of the box. You get a case, you get ammo, everything's done for the customer. So when you get it, you just enjoy it. Everything's done for you. If you need different turrets, so let's say you're hunting at 1,000-foot elevation, and then all of a sudden you draw an elk tag in Wyoming, you're going to be at 10 to 12,000 foot. We'll burn you a turret. It's $125. We don't make anything. It's a service that we have to provide. We burn you another turret for that elevation. You take the other turret off, slide that one on, you're ready to go. Simplicity at its finest.
Yeah, that's great. Now, when you're shooting all of these rifles, you're shooting dozens of rounds, hundreds of rounds probably a day. How do you keep from flinching and all the other things that so
I take a lot of pride in it. So actually, the more I shoot, the better. More you shoot, it's like practice like you're going to play. So it's consistency. The same pressure in your shoulder, the same squeeze, always wanting to watch that crosshair bump on that orange dot through the whole process. So you'll train yourself. The more you shoot, you'll be able to watch every bullet hit. Every bullet will hit. The more consistent you get in your squeeze and your breathing and everything. I like to squeeze that trigger the second half of my exhale, because that's when my body's the most relaxed.
Yeah, you're paying attention to the whole thing.
Yeah, but it becomes a habit after a while.
Yeah.
And that's where I get the consistency in the shooting.
Yeah. Now, folks, a lot of us don't want someone else to tune up our rifle. We want to do it ourselves, right? Even if it takes a little longer. What about somebody who wants to do that? Can they get the rifle untuned with your scope?
You better believe it. Actually, if a person's got a gun that they really like and it'll shoot a minute or better, 3-shot group, you could buy one of our scopes. We'll send you the scope, and you mount it up, you do all that work, and then you shoot the data. A data card comes in the box that you get the scope in, so it's self-explanatory of what we need you to do, and then you just call us with that data. Terry will burn a turret, we send it to you in the mail, and when you get it, you pop it on, you're ready to go. It's simple, real simple.
Now, you said something earlier about seeing a light in the scope. Tell us about this light you're talking about.
So Dr. McCall, my partner, my boss, whatever you want to call him, my friend, my buddy, yeah, we're pretty close. He's an eye surgeon, and he came up with the idea of wanting to do something that not anybody else has done. So inside the reticle in our scope, you have an internal bubble level in the bottom that has luminous yellow fluid within that bubble. And then what we have, and we just got the 20-year patent on it, is we have a green light. When you're within 1 degree of being perfectly level within that bubble, you got a green light that comes on. So
you got the green light.
So it's simplicity at its finest.
Yeah.
And let's say, for instance, let's say you draw a tag somewhere where they don't allow anything battery operated, right? So you pull the battery out, but inside the reticle, you still have our internal bubble level.
You can watch.
So you're always going to be consistent, and not canning the gun at yardages over 300-400 yards is very important as far as accuracy goes.
You guys are thinking of everything.
We're trying, and you know what? You've looked through these. The glass that we have is out of this world.
Yeah.
All of them are quarter-minute clicks,
Yep.
and you can actually light the reticle up if you choose to do it at low light conditions.
Yeah. Now, guys, I got invited down here by my good old friend Larry Weisshoot. He said, Ron, want to come down to meet Stealth Vision guys and see what they're doing? They paid for my ticket. How can I resist flying into Texas in the heat of the summer?
Yeah, it does get warm. That's why we shoot in the mornings every day, Ron.
But the proof is in the pudding, and the proof is in the seeing. For somebody who came from Missouri would say, I got to see it to believe it. And of course, I did see it. And I see a lot of scopes, and I have reviewed a lot of scopes, and I've gone to the factories and I toured it, and I talked to the engineers who build these things to understand what is going on inside of a scope. So I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of it and appreciation of what one does. When I look through these scopes, I think I'm looking through the finest Euro glass scope that I've ever worked with.
Appreciate that.
Top of the line stuff, optical quality, but also the build quality. Everything turns precisely. There's no backlash. It's clear. It's crisp. All the controls repeat.
Yes.
When we say dial to this distance, there's where your bullet goes. All that stuff is really impressive. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know. You told me. Here's another scope company. Oh boy, here we go.
There are so many scope companies now. They pop up every year like mushrooms, and you never know whether they're better quality or just another also ran or low quality.
Yeah.
So you have to really test them and check them out. And I want to do some more testing with this. Thus far, I am really impressed. So
thank you, Ron.
It's just a great system. Now, before we go any farther, I want to tell folks a little more about you. You didn't just pop out of the woodwork. You're not just a gun shooter. You had a life before this business came
Oh
out.
yeah, oh yeah. You wanted to get into all that,
Joe Cunningham. Well, not all of it, but a little bit.
I've done a little of everything. Yeah, I'll explain a little of it to you.
I want to go to the baseball end of this program. Older guys might remember the name Joe Cunningham. That was your father, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this.
Okay, so Dad played 14 years in the big leagues. Played most of his career with the St. Louis Cardinals. Then he ended his, I think, last 2 or 3 years with the White Sox and Washington Senators. So basically, I was born into the baseball world. I know that when Mom and Dad brought me home from the hospital, I've got the picture. They had a uniform on me. It wasn't a onesie thing that they're wearing these. I had a uniform.
The St. Louis Cardinals uniform.
All the newspapers taking pictures and all that. And it's like I look back and I go, "Oh, that's kind of cool." In high school, I'm saying, "Don't show that to anybody, Mom." You know. But I kind of grew up in that world. So guys like like Mike Shannon, Stan Musial, Marty Marion, all these great players, Al Rabowski. These are all people I grew up around. Al Rabowski used to babysit for me, for crying out loud. But we would go, my brother and I, we'd go to the park every day with Dad in our uniform. We'd be on the field playing catch with all these guys. It's just another day for us, but we loved it. So I kind of grew up in that world, and then I got signed and drafted by the Cardinals out of college. I went to Panama City Beach, Gulf Coast out there, signed after 2 years out of there, and then I played for 6 years for them in their minor league system, and then I went into managing for them. I was a hitting coach for a couple of years, and then I managed for 14 years. Long story short, Ron, I was with them for 23 years, myself counting my playing days, and there came a point in time where it's just like, I've done this for 40 plus years, and it was like I was burnt out. But one of the greatest things, Ron, I want to talk about baseball that I was able to do is, since just a young kid, bass fishing and everything's in the spring, and spring training's in Florida. It was great fishing. But this is what was the most important, is when the season ended, I had a month before bow season and a month and a half before gun season started. So what did I do? I'm hunting like a fool. When the season's over, I get back home, I get to go hunting all winter long. It was, the baseball life provided me and what enabled me to do the passion that I really love. And that's these right here, and hunting. And I've been very fortunate to be able to do that most all my life.
Cool. Now, you showed me some videos of some knives the other day you said you made. Well, how did you get into knife manufacturing?
Well, it came a point after I left another company that I was with, I needed a job. And Doc and I, mostly Doc, we were in research and development, trying to think about what are we going to do to build the best optic in the world. Well, in that meantime, I needed a job. So one of my passions is, besides the hunting, the fishing, and baseball, was knives. So I was very fortunate at home. I had hooked up with a guy by the name of Bobby Walker, and he was an unbelievably professional, attention to detail knife maker. He kind of took me in, and the next thing I know, I'm there every single day working and learning how to make these knives.
You sort of apprenticed under him, huh?
Yeah, manipulating the different steels and testing these knives. And then Debbie, Debbie, his wife, we kept getting on to Bobby about, Bobby, you got to go on that Forged in Fire TV show or put in for it, right? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Bobby's a very humble guy. He's just an awesome person, his whole family. Well, Debbie and I went and we filled out the entry form for him. And we sent it in, and guess what? He got invited to participate in that show, Forged in Fire, and he won. He won the whole show. So I consider myself very fortunate to be working under a guy that is meticulous, is humble, and he won Forged in Fire, and he builds the most amazing knives. And I learned how to build a pretty nice knife, and it's not like we would build it by blanks or handles that are already done, just screw them together. We built it from scratch.
Well, you showed me some Damascus blades. Yeah. You're building those Damascus blades, right?
We make all our Damascus. We've learned how to incorporate some patterns into the Damascus, the twist and different things. We developed a couple of our own patterns, and I'm very thankful I met him and the people that I got to work around when he was there. But it was just another thing that, wow, I can get better and better and better. Because when I start something, Ron, I want to be the best.
Yeah.
It's just like shooting these guns in our optics. We want to be the best. Yeah. And when I show somebody something, it's like, wow, you did that? Or wow, you shot a group like that? And it's just, I like to see people's eyes brighten up. It makes me feel good inside. So yeah, that's kind of.
Well, see, our viewers now are going to be thinking, whoa, this dude got to grow up on the baseball field of the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. He got to go fishing in the springtime, hunting in the fall.
Yes.
And then he gets to work with knives. He gets to work with rifles. How old are you?
I'm 61.
And you've been doing this all your life?
My whole life.
See, I said dream job, it's more like dream life.
Yeah, it's been good. You know what? I've had my ups, I've had my downs. I've been in the gutter too. Yeah. And you just have to pull yourself out at times. And I've been very fortunate to be around some pretty great people that have helped me and influenced me. So,
yeah. Well, you know what it tells me, Joe, is that anybody who wants an outdoor life, you want to be active in hunting and outdoors in general, camping, knives, archery, whatever aspect turns your crank, you can do it. You apply yourself, you go for it, you can do it.
100%. I look at it back like you dream about something you want to do so bad. Well, you can live out those dreams. You just have to apply yourself and work at it and make it happen. It's not somebody just not going to give it to you. Work at it. Show the passion, the enthusiasm for it.
How can a young person who's interested in something like this approach someone like you or Doc or any company and say, I want to work for you guys. I want to build scopes. I want to test rifles or any of that.
Call us. And if there's an availability at certain times or not, of course, we want to see what kind of personality, what kind of passion they have, sure. Their background a little bit. But if you've got that dream, work at it. And it may not be with us. It might be with somebody else. There's always going to be an opening or something for somebody. But don't quit. Don't do it one time and then if something doesn't happen and just forget it, because it's a passion. It's something you feel in your heart. Keep going. Don't stop. Do not stop.
In my limited experience with folks like you, designers and builders and company heads and whatnot all, it seems like most of them appreciate somebody. So when I was younger, I didn't want to get in someone's face and ask them anything like that.
Right.
But it seems to me now I should have. Because you go to someone like this and you think, oh, he's a big shot and I don't want to approach him. You go up to him with earnest passion and say, I just love guns and I want to design, I want to build, I want to something, whatever your passion is. And he sees that in you. And I see that in young people who come to me and say, gosh, I want to be a writer or a photographer or do YouTube videos. And what do I do? What do I do? When I meet some young person who's really enthusiastic like that, I just naturally want to help them along.
I agree 100%, 100%. You know, and something that I learned a long time ago is I treat everybody the same. I don't care if you've got $100 million in the bank or $100 in the bank. I'm going to be the same person towards you because we're all the same. We're all the same because of that guy up there, right? We're all treat everybody like that. You know, the old golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I've lived by that, and I treat people like that. I really do, and it makes for good relationships and long-lasting relationships.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, and I have seen that on this little visit with you and Doc both. You just make me feel so at home. It's really.
It's a relationship that'll go on and on for the rest of our lives. That's how we treat people. That's how we want to be treated. You know.
Yeah, it makes this industry really pretty wonderful. I mean, there are people who aren't so wonderful in any aspect of life,
that's life.
Any business you go into, you know, but you recognize the good, solid people when you meet them.
And sometimes you get fooled. And sometimes you have to learn the hard way. But you'll find those are not the people that you want to deal with, and you go on.
Yeah, you move on.
You go on.
Right. Some people will get all down in the dumps about it and think, they were horrible to me, and now and you just never rise above it. You just have to say, some people are like that. Let's move on and get better.
But I'm better than I'm better than that. I'm not going to let that affect me.
So that's the key. It's your attitude. I think you have to have that attitude.
Ron, attitude's everything. You're going to meet all kinds of people, mostly good people if you give them a chance, which we do. But you're going to have those people that
try to take advantage of you.
Oh, they're going to take advantage of you. I know that for a fact. But I just kind of weed them out of my life.
Well, what I tell the young people in my life is that you cannot control other people. There are going to be some real jerks out there. If you want to make it in this line of work, in this business of the outdoor adventures and all the things that we love, you keep yourself straight. I always say hunt honest and shoot straight. That applies to all your life.
It sure does. It's
Treat
a great
everyone
saying.
with respect.
And
if they don't respect you and they're not worth your respect, you just leave them alone.
Exactly.
Move on. Find good people to work with. But keep your attitude positive.
100%.
And always try to do your best. If everyone would do that, we wouldn't have any trouble
I'm
in
going to
this
tell you what,
world.
our world needs more people like that. I mean, it really does. Our government, well, I better not talk about that.
No, we better not go to politics.
I'm not talking about that. But anyway, people need to respect each other and appreciate each other. And work with each other. There's too many people that they want this, they want that. Instead of working together, I guess you could say it is, instead of me making $1 million, if I made a half, I'm happy. But let the other people make a half. I've never made that kind of money though, right?
I'll take the other half.
I'm a paycheck to paycheck guy, but I'm not a greedy guy. As long as I can pay my bills, I'm happy. You know.
I think the key to that is not having your eye on the dollar sign, having your eye on the fun of getting there.
The big picture.
You
know,
it's like every day I wake up and going, I want to get to work because I'm doing something I love. And if some good money comes with it, so much the better. But as long as you're not starving or freezing to death, just enjoy your life, be good to people, do your best, and it's just going to come to you.
One of the things I tell people a lot is I'm very fortunate in what I do and the job I have, because I can go to bed at night and I can't wait to get up in the morning to go to work. And that's a good feeling. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, they go to bed, they don't want to get up and go. It's like, I got to go to work. And if you have another desire or passion, work forward to something that you can go to bed and look forward to getting up. You don't have to be stuck in one certain spot.
Excellent point. Yeah, that is a great way to really live your life. And look where it's landed you, look where it's landed me. We get to test these guns and play with them. And
we're very fortunate. We really. But we had dreams, and we worked hard to live those dreams out.
So I think that's our message here. Joe Cunningham, baseball player, baseball coach.
Rodeo. I rodeo too. I rodeoed for
We don't have enough time to go into all the things that this gentleman has done, but you see that smile on his face? That's always there. He always has this enthusiasm in him, and it's just infectious.
I love to talk to people. I like to do something for people that gets them excited and puts a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Like shooting these guns.
Yeah.
They shoot and they get a smile on their face like, oh my gosh, did I really do that?
Yeah.
That's what makes me feel good.
Well, that's
so,
great. Thanks for doing that, Joe.
Ron?
Thanks for being my friend,
I love
even
it.
though it's only a 3-day friendship.
Well, it's going to go on forever. So,
I hope so.
that's
I
how
don't
we
think it
that's how
will.
we work. So
Unless I screw it up.
no, you ain't gonna screw it up, Ron.
Hey guys, I hope this gave you a little bit of hope and enthusiasm, or at least encouraged you a little bit if you are thinking you want to get into this line of work. There's so many ways of doing it. I've interviewed people before who have come into this in different ways.
Yeah.
There's a way. If you have the passion, you want to make it happen, you can make it happen with that good attitude, that positive outlook, lots of hard work, and you can maybe someday find yourself shooting 5 different rifles a day, working up loads, zeroing scopes, and just having a ball.
Absolute fun. It's absolute fun. And if they're interested in any of our gun packages, you give us a call here at Stealth Vision. You're more than welcome to come down here and shoot with us before you might want to buy one. You can come down and shoot with us. We'll take care of you. We'll feed you. We'll do things out here on this range that you never thought you could possibly do.
There's a good invitation, guys. You ought to jump on that one. Stealth Vision, you might want to check him out. In the meantime, this is Ron Spomer with Joe Cunningham at the Stealth Vision shooting range. I think we're going to go plink a few more steel targets.
We are. All right. You ready,
the rest
Ron?
of you, yeah, I am. The rest of you guys hunt honest and shoot straight. We'll see you next time.
We'll see y'all.